1 o'clock, three-man front on this Thursday. It's been a busy Thursday. Rodney Orr, as he customarily does, joined us in the 11 o'clock hour, as well as Rob Pate talking Auburn, Chris Vanini talking North Dakota State, the move to the Mountain West, and the future of college athletics. Vince Ferrara from there in Knoxville, Joey Aguilar. Just like Trinidad Chambliss, another quarterback from the SEC seeking an extra year of eligibility. They are at lunch, about to return from lunch. That is the schedule of Trinidad Chambliss, in his case being heard in a Mississippi courtroom. Pat looked up the feed of the number of people watching that Mississippi courtroom, and it is in excess of 10,000 individuals.
That's just on one website.
On one website.
That's on the On3 Ole Miss site. 10 grand is watching right now, and they're at lunch.
Is this the biggest thing that's ever happened in that part of the state? I guess, yeah. In recent time, I would think. Probably so. So a lot of comments on that. 800-239-WJOX. We talked basketball. Alabama winner last night in Oxford, Mississippi. They take care of business. Latrell Wrightsell, he was just so good in the second half. 6-3, 7 overall on the night. So the Tide back at home this weekend as they improve their seeding. And right now, latest bracketology has them all the way up to a 4 seed, according to, was it Joe Lenardi who put out that latest? 4, 5, I think 6 probably is the worst or the ceiling for this Alabama basketball team with the games that they have left on the schedule. But things trending up post Charles Bediako for Nate Oates and the Tide. We tell you about Crafts all the time. Crafts on 280. They have breakfast in that newest location in Mountain Brook. It's the old Wendy's. It's right next to Hampton Inn, but Crafts, you get the brined chicken fingers, all the great sides, the stick to your ribs sides, like the homemade macaroni and cheese, rice and gravy, greens, biscuits, all that good stuff. They got salads, they got sandwiches, and even got a burger. Crafts on 280. Check them out. You can also check them out 7th Avenue South downtown, or they're in Crestline Village on Church Street.
All right, some Olympic updates for you on this next day of competition in the wonderful country of Italy. Why are you doing thumbs down?
That was Landrum.
No. Oh, yeah. The guy that's dressed up in patriotic gear today all week. It's been the theme here. You have not joined.
It's just a hat.
Just a hat.
I'm going to close my shirt. I've got red and white on my shirt, and I got blue pants on. I'm covered.
U.S. skier Jessie Diggins clinched bronze in the women's cross-country skiing this morning, earning the first Olympic medal for the United States in the event.
That a girl.
The U.S. has won 6 Olympic cross-country skiing medals all time, and Diggins has now contributed to 4 of them.
Cross-country skiing looks awful.
Yeah.
Snowshoeing, skiing, that stupid running uphill with skis on.
I thought that was patriotic, not stupid, but, you know.
And it was cool last night watching the
it was un-American doing it.
The Jordan Stolz when they had it in tape delay.
Yep.
And they did the video package of the pond behind the house that the dad turned into
that lit up for him and his sister to night skate.
It was really cool. Really cool.
Dad, a German immigrant.
Stolz became the first American man to win the event in the Olympics since 2010. But last night, a little disappointment as favored figure skaters Madison Chock and Evan Bates claimed their first Olympic medal, but it was not the gold variety. It was silver. The French duo upset the Americans. That was a huge upset.
Conrad, you pull for the French duo?
Obviously.
Oui.
Did y'all see the, I can't remember what country it was from, the skier that hit the gate?
Yeah, and hit him in the junk?
Yeah, and you
was
just
that
hear
an
him,
old clip? Was that an old clip? Was that an old Bodie Miller?
I don't think that was in the Olympics.
Was that a Bodie Miller? I think it was a Bodie Miller.
I got.
Yeah.
Somebody framed it as something from the Olympics yesterday.
It can happen.
Yeah.
And I think that 90 miles an hour, anything hitting you there would hurt.
It was just the audio of him.
Yeah.
For about 30 seconds where you can just tell if you're a man, you know he wants to die.
Don't we have preliminary round skate this afternoon with U.S. hockey, the men's? Slovakia?
That is coming up at 2 o'clock against Latvia.
Latvia, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I knew there was a V in there.
Yep. This morning, Liz Limley and Jalen Koff turned in the best Olympic performance ever in the U.S. women's moguls as Limley, 20 years old, won the gold medal, and her teammate Koff captured the silver. Koff is 29, fought back after finishing 27th in a qualifying round. How about that? 27th, and you find yourself winning a silver medal. It's pretty incredible. A little bit of an update on 41-year-old Lindsey Vonn. She posted pictures from the hospital bed. Her left leg heavily bandaged and braced with a large metal contraption. In a post on Instagram, Vonn said, "I had my third surgery today, and it was successful. Success today was a completely different meaning than it did a few days ago. I'm making progress, and while it is slow, I know I'll be okay." So 3 surgeries just within the last week on her leg. The U.S. women's curling team beat South Korea earlier this morning, 8-4. They will play Sweden later today. The men's curling team is playing Switzerland. Meanwhile, Conrad's favorite sporting event, Team Luge, got underway about 6 minutes ago. And so does women's speed skating short track is going on. But the U.S. men's hockey team, they'll get underway at 2 o'clock against Latvia, with NHL players participating in the Winter Olympics for the first time since 2014. USA is just behind Canada as the favorites to win the gold medal in the men's hockey. The USA men's hockey team has not won an Olympic medal outside of North America since 1972. I'm talking about any medal.
72.
Outside of North America since 1972.
That's when the Ole Miss judge graduated law school.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Look at there.
The Winter Olympics viewership on NBC, they're averaging 26.5 million people per night watching the Olympics.
Is that a good number?
It is a good number.
Okay.
It is a good number, but it did not get the bounce after the Super Bowl the other night like they had hoped for. But it's been a solid number every night, 26.5 million people. That's strong, especially for winter. As we all know, Summer Olympics are a bigger draw in this country.
Now, I have noticed we've had more of an influx in the last decade and a half of maybe foreign-born. And this has been the case in the Summer Olympics as well. And I think that has to probably help in some of these events, in some of these sports. You got foreign-born athletes that come over and they have their citizenship here. And it works both ways. We have Americans that go and represent countries that are a part of their heritage. We're third right now in medals. Norway and Italy ahead of us. Is there any way that we win this thing?
Well, if Damien and I can bring home gold, that'll help us out a little bit.
It will. By the way, I think we have a venue for your intimate luge, your 2-man intimate luge. But the person did ask me not to say it on the air.
It's not what we were talking about yesterday, right? Were you talking about the bike accident?
No.
Okay.
But I was asked not to say the location, but told we could film there.
It's really nice of Rob to let us use Sweet Frog for the luge. Yes. That's really nice of Rob.
I didn't think about that.
Drive down to Auburn.
Yeah.
That would be good.
You start in the walk-in freezer. You work your way out.
There you go.
So there was a disturbing story that came out last night from BYU, in which BYU receiver Parker Kingston, he has been charged with first-degree felony rape. The Washington County, Utah Attorney's Office announced yesterday on Saturday. So he was accused of felony rape yesterday. On Saturday, he announced there at BYU's basketball game on the big screen that he was engaged. Now, the charge comes after nearly a year-long investigation that began after a 20-year-old woman reported a sexual assault to officers at St. George Regional Hospital. The attorney's office said in a news release, the woman told officers that Kingston sexually assaulted her on February 23rd, 2025, according to the release. Kingston was BYU's leading receiver in 2025. He caught 66 passes, 924 yards, 5 touchdowns. This is the second high-profile allegation of rape against a BYU football player in the past year. In May, former quarterback Jake Resloff was accused of rape in a civil lawsuit before the parties jointly agreed in June to dismiss the case with prejudice, meaning it could not be refiled. No criminal charges were filed against Resloff. However, he would have faced a lengthy suspension for violating BYU's honor code, which prohibits premarital sex, and he transferred to Tulane after that incident.
That's just it's a bad look, and we've talked about how much we respect Satake as a coach, but to have your starting quarterback
A year ago.
played at Tulane,
Mhm.
and then your leading wide receiver, same allegations, but it sounds like for the receiver, potentially found guilty, he's going to jail.
I would say based on these charges.
And based on them investigating it for a year,
Mhm.
because she filed, February of 2025?
She said the assault occurred on February 23rd, 2025.
And then she goes to medical center, has all the
Correct.
stuff done.
Mhm.
Just on the surface, it looks like they've got their ducks in a row. It's bad.
I'm just curious if Parker Kingston, during this whole time frame, was he aware that somebody was accusing him of something?
It's a good question.
Well, and it also obviously brings up the question with him getting engaged 3 days ago. Is this something that she was aware of? Or is this going to come out as, is a situation where it's, oh, no, I didn't do it?
I almost asked the question, and then I was like, no, that's a silly question, but I'll ask it. Is there any chance there's no chance this is the same girl, right?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, that would have come out.
Yeah, I would think that would be known.
And the reason I asked that question, I don't mean to sound cynical, but
it's a good question.
If he knew that the investigation was ongoing and you have a very public display in a basketball arena filled with 15,000 people of you being engaged on the big screen.
It's odd
timing. Or
timing.
did you know that this was coming and you went ahead and...
Well, engaged isn't married.
No, it's not. But I'm just thinking from his perspective, was he thinking, all right, let's go ahead and lock it in?
I know, yeah. There's a lot of questions, but that's not a good culture you got right there.
But based on him going on the big screen and making that big spectacle, I would think that he did not know that this was coming.
I would assume not. Otherwise, that would be quite.
When they're investigating stuff like
silly.
this, do they not let the accused know just to maybe mitigate any potential threats towards accuser? I don't know.
Oh, like they wouldn't let him know so that he couldn't retaliate against the girl if he
Right.
Potentially. Maybe so.
Because there's been other instances involving high-profile college football players at certain institutions where more victims would have come forward, but they felt like they were threatened and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Not saying that's the case there, but
Serious accusations.
Yep,
Once again,
coming out of serious case.
Coming out of BYU for the second year in a row. We will continue on. We've been following the Trinidad Chambliss case over in Mississippi. They're breaking for lunch. They're supposed to be back in the courtroom in about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, Ross Dellinger just reported moments ago that the NCAA has denied Ole Miss's request for a reconsideration of quarterback Trinidad Chambliss's eligibility waiver. So I guess it's all up on the courtroom now. So now the NCAA won't even reconsider it.
Can we get a continuance to next February?
No, just let him play until the LSU game. And then after that, Deuce will have, get him in there early. But yeah, we want Trinidad for the LSU
have the hearing after the LSU game.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if they did that, though, just to stick it to Lane? Like, yeah, you know what? He's not going to play the whole year, but we're going to make sure he's ready week 3.
Or do the opposite, whereas the week of the game, something comes up and his eligibility is questionable, and then Blake Baker and the defensive side of the ball
have been planning for Chambliss, and now it's Deuce.
They don't know if they're supposed to prepare for him, and then Lane would just lose his mind.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't be thrilled about playing either one of those guys, based on what I've seen. I think Deuce is going to be pretty good.
The Deuce is loose.
We will continue to follow what's going on over in Mississippi. We'll get to more of your text messages, phone calls. Welcome at 1-800-239-WJOX.
$119, three-man front. The fate of Trinidad Chambliss, at least his college football fate, lies with the decision of a Mississippi judge. That going on right now in the state of Mississippi with the Ole Miss quarterback. We'll keep you up to date on that. We got Joey Aguilar, Tennessee quarterback, seeking the same thing. We talked to Vince Ferrara about that as well. We tell you all the time and try to help you out with some of our great local partners. And another one is the Garage in Pelham, thegarageInPelham.com. Certainly worth the drive if you're not there in Pelham. It's just across the way here in Metro Birmingham. But Bob, the owner, and his staff, they do a wonderful job. It is the most professional, courteous, I guess, auto body car repair place that you're going to find. And you're going to know it the moment you walk through the door. Guys, you're not going to mind your daughter, your wife, maybe your significant other going in there, being treated with the respect that they deserve because they're just fine people. You got Robert and Richie there in the lobby listening to the show right now. Tell them that we said hello. They'll take care of you, whether it's an engine replacement, heaven forbid, you need that done. But they can do it. They can do stuff as simple as an oil change. I got a lot of little things on my truck that they're going to be taking care of for me. And right now, while it still is cold outside, don't neglect the things that are leaking like coolant, oil. The cold weather is typically going to make a marginal issue and make it more significant. They do things from starters, alternator, battery repairs when it's cold. They will take care of you. It's a name that you can trust. They're built on reputation. It's the Garage in Pelham, thegarageandpelham.com. Always tell them that Landrum from Jock sent you.
All right, they're back in session over Mississippi.
Wonder how Tonelli's was.
So lunch went by pretty quick. They're not supposed to come back until 1:30. They're back in now, handling some business. And Trinidad Chambliss will be the first witness to take the stand here in a matter of moments.
So you said you think the NCAA guy probably got a salad? Like, we're talking like a kale salad for lunch?
I don't think you can get kale over there. Well, I'm guessing that Tonelli's does not have the kale option.
Okay.
I think you can get it in the state of Mississippi. No, I'm thinking iceberg.
Okay.
Typical garden salad.
I was like, wait,
maybe a chef
is
salad.
Kale a delicacy of the Alabama?
Yeah.
The state of Alabama?
No, it's not. I don't. He probably asked for something. Do you have any kale back there? I'm like, what? You said what?
See, that's it. He definitely tried to order something, and they just kind of looked at him. And went, "Oh yeah, that's right."
But again, it goes back to my cousin Vinny when Joe Pesci's in there and he's asking the old guy. He's like, "What's a grit?" And the guy's trying to explain to him what a grit is.
One singular grit.
That's how I'm imagining this highfalutin attorney from the NCAA. So that will be interesting. The expectation, at least here on the show, and it has been, that Trinidad Chambliss will be granted an extra year, but you never know. Sometimes home field doesn't always work out, as we've learned this week.
Well, Alabama got a split, but unfortunately the split was the last part of that was not the one that you needed.
Yes, that is correct. Also talking about BYU, they got their leading wide receiver from a season ago. He is in trouble. And a lot of text coming in on the text line. We'll go there now. 205-834-9450. And someone chiming in from the state of Tennessee. Good Pat Potter's question. If Trinidad Chambliss made it a movie, who would play him? Who would play the judge? LOL. Howie, thank you for the text. We'll discuss it amongst the group. I don't know if this one ever makes it to TV, but it could get interesting. Someone saying Lane Kiffin is really, really funny. Only in the SIP. Is he lying? Laughing, crying emoji. Lane Kiffin, you shouldn't be surprised, is watching this courtroom drama unfold in the state of Mississippi with his former quarterback and former assistant coaches and feeling the need to chime in on social media. This one reads, if they're truly, quote, student athletes, make it 5 years to play, 4, no exceptions, no waivers, no special circumstances, you can still go to school hurt. I think there would probably be some people. Well, there would be a lot of pushback on that. This one reads, Lane Kiffin is probably an expert in having someone he does not know trying to wake him up in the middle of the night. Several head nods from the room there. I don't think that we'd be surprised. Probably not as often as occurrence it used to happen. Jimmy says this is the biggest thing to happen in Mississippi since JFK sent in the National Guard. Would that be the biggest thing to happen in the state of Mississippi? I was just talking about this particular courtroom.
Surely something bigger's happened.
Michael, with a more of a cynical approach to sleep apnea, he says, wear a mask like everyone else. I'm not an expert like Joe Judge on sleep apnea, so I don't know.
All right, so Trinidad Chambliss is on the stand. We're going to try to take a listen. And the audio is, let's just say the microphone is kind of distant. It's not right in front of him. So we will try to give you an indication of what is going on over in Oxford. Of course, when I say go to Oxford, then this
How many seasons
there we go.
do you believe you have left to play college football? One more year. When you came to Ole Miss, how many seasons did you believe you had to play?
2 years.
Why do you believe you had 2 years to play when you transferred over?
Because I was told by me by Ferris State Coach Neese.
And what did the Fair State coach tell you?
He told me that I had a medical redshirt in 2022, and that I had 2 more years to believe.
Okay. Do you know whether or not Fair State submitted or filed any kind of paperwork with the NCAA regarding your medical redshirt in 22?
No, sir, I did not.
Did anyone ever tell you there was something you had to do personally in order to document that?
No, sir.
Did you assume and I guess trust that Fair State would do whatever it was supposed to do to get you declared a medical redshirt in 2022?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about a long period of time. All right. So this period of time starts in 2020 with you getting mononucleosis, and it goes all the way through the end of 2024 when you had surgery to remove your tonsils and that. All right. In your words, as best you can, just describe what that health force and medical force is like.
Constantly being sick, having a roller coaster of being sick and then feeling better, constantly being, fatigued and tired throughout the day, not getting enough sleep.
When you said roller coaster, what do you mean?
There's times where I feel good, and then there's times where I feel really bad.
As far as the fatigue goes, even if you're in that time period, even if your throat felt a little bit better, was the fatigue still an issue?
Yes, sir.
When did the fatigue go away?
Until I got my tonsils removed.
Do you snore?
Not anymore.
How bad did you snore after your second bout of mononucleosis?
It's pretty bad. My family can attest to that. My friends can say that I was a pretty bad snorer.
And did you come to learn what condition you had that was causing you to snore and disturbing your sleep?
Yes, sir. Sleep apnea.
And how did you learn that?
Dr. Howard had told me that.
Did the fatigue affect you in other ways? Like, for instance, nutritionally?
Yes, sir. I was very tired. I lost appetite, and that has to do with me having sore throat most of the time. So yeah, lost appetite and just lack of energy, to be honest.
Did that present any problems in your attempts to gain weight?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
May I approach your own? I'm going to hand you the first page of Exhibit 3. Tell me who that young man is.
It's me.
Okay. When was that picture taken?
My second year at Fair State.
Okay. What did they take those pictures in the preseason before the fall game season starts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It says on there, I think, the letters RFR. What does that mean?
Redshirt freshman.
Okay, so that would mean it's your second year of Fair State.
Yes, sir.
How tall are you that's shown on that exhibit?
It says I'm 6'1",
How much do you weigh is shown on that exhibit?
176 pounds.
Okay. Did you in fact weigh 176 pounds when you reported for football at Fair State in 2022?
Yes, sir.
For lack of a better word, were you skinny?
Yeah, I was very small. Just not in really good physical shape.
Okay. And why do you believe you weren't in good physical shape at the time that photograph was taken?
In the summer and preseason, before football season, it's my job to get into good shape, and I just wasn't able to do that based off my conditions.
What did you experience in the summer of 2022 when you would go try to work out and condition and build your endurance? I mean, what did you experience?
Shortness of breath, me not being able to finish workouts, just having a tough time, catching my breath and just pushing through workouts, to be honest.
Is that picture a fair and accurate depiction of you and how you looked when you reported to Fair State in 2022?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about how that kid in that picture looks?
He looks tiny.
Okay. All right.
You're listening to some
Did you give
coverage
it your best
of
effort
Oxford, Mississippi,
over the summer
of Trinidad
2022
Chambliss's hearing with the
train,
NCAA.
condition, and develop to where you would even be in football shape?
Yes, sir. I tried my best.
your mother try to encourage you?
She would.
In what ways?
Try to push through it.
And that's what you tried to do, right?
Yes, sir.
When did you start gaining weight?
2023.
And did that help you in shape, gaining the weight?
Yes, it did.
And what did you do to gain weight in 2023?
Drink more protein shakes, kind of change my diet, get more sleep if I could.
Were you doing anything to avoid crowds or places where it might be a lot of people who could be sick?
Yes, sir.
And why were you doing that?
To prevent me from getting sick. I knew that once I do get sick, I'm put down for a couple of days, and it's not a good sight, to be honest. I don't feel great.
Have you noticed that, have you had a cold since you had your tonsillectomy?
I have.
Okay. And compare a cold after your tonsillectomy to a cold before your tonsillectomy. How are they different?
Before I had my tonsillectomy, regular common cold, it would be 3-4 days before I would start feeling any better. Now, if I feel like I'm having a sore throat or like I'm getting under the weather, it's usually just a day, to be honest.
That is Trinidad Chambliss. He is currently on the stand. Very compelling what you heard in regards to the evidence that they submitted about Ferris State.
With Thomas Mars, the RFR on the roster, the redshirt freshman.
I don't think that was Thomas Mars. I think that was the other attorney.
That's a
attorney.
good pull right there.
Yeah.
Was that the NCAA's attorney?
No,
that was the other attorney.
I was about to say, this is the NCAA's attorney. He's asking horrible questions.
No, the NCAA will have a chance to cross-examine after this line of questioning. But no, that is Tom Mars's legal partner. Do not have his name in front of me, but he is the one that is asking Trinidad those questions. And that was a really good pull, pointing out that Ferris State on their media guide had him listed as a redshirt, which meant, he had that medical year that he was told, according to what he just said, under oath, that the coach and the people at Ferris State told him that he was redshirted.
I never really thought about weight, but I thought that was a really good point brought up by his attorneys. What was his weight prior to the start of the season? And then talking about the offseason conditioning and things that prevented him from doing. I think that this is probably all they need.
I've been watching the judge. The judge is over there writing stuff.
Yeah.
I bet you he is writing his opinion if it's not already written.
Yes.
He's doing it right now.
Yep.
All right.
Well, he just had lunch from Tonelli's, and it's time for nap.
All right. We'll continue to follow that on this Thursday edition of Three Man Front. It is 1:38 here on Jocks. If you're just now tuning in, we have been following since about 10 o'clock this morning when we came on the air. Trinidad Chambliss trying to get an injunction to play another year of college football. It's been fascinating to watch and hear and watch here in studio what's been going on. We kind of give you a little sample just a couple minutes ago. So we're now going to go back to Pittsboro, Mississippi. It's about 30 minutes south of Oxford, Mississippi. Calhoun County Courthouse. Trinidad Chambliss still on the stand as his attorneys are questioning him in regards to the attempt to get another year of eligibility.
Starting in the fall of 2022, after you saw Dr. Howard, did you take medicines on really almost a daily basis?
Yes, sir, I did.
Can you tell us what medicines you were taking over that long period of time, up until you really had your surgery?
Yes, I had Flonase, and then Singular whenever I had it. I also took Claritin, and then Dayquil, NyQuil, and a bunch of cough drops.
You heard me ask your mother if she was a walk-in pharmacy. Did she serve that role for you?
Yes, sir, she did.
Did you get to play any football in 2023?
A little, yes.
And by that I mean against other teams.
Yes, sir.
Right? What were the circumstances in those games when you got a chance to play?
Ferris State is a pretty good Division II program. The time that I would get in would be garbage time, to be honest. Usually would be up a lot, and then they would put me in.
You went to see your ENT in November of 2024, 1 month before you had surgery.
Yes, sir.
Did you tell that ENT that you met with about any flare-ups of infections that you had over the year before you walked in to see him in November of 2024?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell him?
Told him that I was constantly being sick, constantly tired. Fatigue was never went away. I had constant flare-ups, constant sore throat. Felt crappy.
You were able to perform pretty well in 2024.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Even though you still had these conditions that were recurrent, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you attribute that to?
Me being able to perform?
Yeah, you can be able to perform pretty well in 24, even though you still have these chronic illnesses.
The medicines that I took, I was taking Flonase, Dayquil, NyQuil, and Claritin. Kind of helped me tolerate the symptoms that I had.
Did you feel like you were in better physical condition in 2024?
Yes, sir, definitely. I feel like I was definitely better physically conditioned to how I was feeling, yes.
Had you gained weight by 2024?
Yes, sir.
What do you weigh now?
200 pounds, 205.
What did you weigh? Well, we know what you weighed in 2022. We have a photograph of it. What do you think you weighed at Ferris State in 2022?
Probably 195 to 200 pounds.
Odd question, but I need to ask it. Do you think your medical condition was better in 2024 than it was in 2022?
No, sir.
Okay. When do you think you were the sickest? That's what I'm asking. Were you the sicker in 2022, in the fall of 22, or were you sicker in 2024?
2022.
What's been your experience since your surgery with respect to the problems that you had? You know, your chronic tonsillitis, chronic adenoiditis, and, the swelling, the adenotonsil or hypertrophy of your tonsil.
After the surgery?
Yeah.
I feel much better. I'm not getting sick as often as I did. The fatigue has gone away. I'm more active and I'm more aware, and I feel better. Just overall feel 100% healthy.
Have you felt 100% healthy since you recovered from your surgery?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel anywhere close to 100% healthy before you had your surgery?
No, sir.
How many actual football seasons have you competed in?
Only 3.
Okay. Let's count. Okay. 2023,
Yes, sir.
2024,
Yes, sir.
and then last season, the one is 2025.
Yes, sir.
We're here today because we're asking the court for something, right?
Yes, sir.
What are we asking the court for?
My 4th year of college football.
Do you think that's a fair request?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think it's fair?
Because I'm asking what the NCAA has in their rule book. All athletes get 4 years of eligibility.
At any time before you had your surgery in 2024, were the medical conditions you suffered from something that were in your control?
No, sir.
Now, what do you think the benefits will be to you if you're able to play football at Ole Miss in the fall of 2026 and undergo an additional year of development as a quarterback?
I feel like just having the experience as a college football athlete, my coaches, players, and the community of Oxford be amazing. I feel like we could accomplish a lot. I feel like the team this year will be better than it was last year. And
Okay. Do you think that additional year of development will bode well for your future once you voluntarily choose to go to the NFL?
yes, sir.
Okay, in what way?
Just another year of experience. You know, my journey is a little different than others. I was at a Division II program, and then now I was at Ole Miss for 1 year, not even a full year. So I feel like another year, full experience and another year of development, talk with my coaches and players, will be good for me for the NFL.
Do you think that an additional year of development will make it more likely that you go higher in the NFL draft?
Yes, sir.
Are there any other benefits if you're not able to stay at Ole Miss next year? Are there any other benefits you'll lose or miss out on?
Yes, sir.
What are
NIL, rev share.
they? Okay. A rev share agreement was offered to you in December, was it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you able to sign that agreement?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you signed the rev share agreement?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I did not.
Don't you have to be eligible to get a rev share?
Yes.
Okay. So you weren't able to sign because of all this, right?
No, sir.
Let's talk about commercials, television commercials. I saw one with you in it. It was on behalf of AT&T. I think it was filmed at Ole Miss, right?
It was.
And it was broadcast nationwide.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was that experience like?
It's amazing. You know, acting is a little bit harder than what people think it is. But it was really cool to experience that.
Do you believe that if you get this 4th season of competition, that your relationship with AT&T will continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you believe there'll be other brands that you'll end up working with?
Yes, sir.
Without naming the brands, are you in talks with other brands to advertise and market on their behalf?
Yes, sir.
I don't have anything further at this moment, Your Honor.
All right, you have been listening to live coverage of Pittsboro, Mississippi's courtroom. That is the Calhoun County Courthouse. Trinidad Chambliss being questioned by his attorneys. We will run to our last break of the show. When we come back, hopefully, we can hear some cross-examination between the NCAA and Trinidad Chambliss. Now, Trinidad Chambliss also pointed out that the head coach at Ferris State, Tony Annese, pulled him into his office before the start of the 2022 season and told him he would medically redshirt him and not play. So it's a very important facet to this whole conversation, whether he should be given an additional year of eligibility. What's interesting, Landrum, about this is that the NCAA already knows this, and the NCAA has denied this multiple times. But now we are in a court of law, which is different than the court of public opinion. You put your hand on a Bible and you swear to tell the truth. So Trinidad Chambliss just said in a sworn testimony that the coach of Ferris State told him that they were going to medically redshirt him and that he would not play.
And I'm guessing that whether it's Mars or somebody else on behalf of Trinidad Chambliss, somebody has reached out to Tony Anise, the head coach at Ferris State, just to confirm, because it's a he said, the way it appears. And I don't know if he's been subpoenaed, he's been asked any questions, but I have to believe Trinidad and what he's saying at face value. It is interesting to point out, and if I'm a part of the NCAA, and I don't know how much you point this out, but it was the eligibility and him saying that he did not play because of this illness. If I would bring it up, he talked about the success of the Ferris State program. I did not realize they won the Division II this past season. They won it in the year in question in 2022. They've won, I think, 4 national championships in the last 5 years. So if it was me and I was on the NCAA's side of things, I would say, is there not just a possibility, Trinidad, that you got beat out that season?
We will continue to follow this story. Obviously, Paul Feinbaum will have more at the top of the hour. You're listening to Three Man Front on Jocks. It is 1:52. Welcome back into the program. Appreciate everybody tuning us in on this very interesting Thursday. If you missed any of our interviews with Rodney Orr, Rob Pate, Chris Vanini from The Athletic, Vince Ferrara from our sister station there in Knoxville, Tennessee, The Sports Animal, you can always download the Three Man Front podcast. You can also watch the program every day. All you can do is hit subscribe on YouTube on Jocks TV. We appreciate everybody tuning us in each and every day. The hearing will continue over in Pittsboro, Mississippi, as Trinidad Chambliss. He just got off the stand a few moments ago. It's my understanding that the NCAA will not call any witnesses. They did not cross-examine Trinidad Chambliss's mom, so they're not calling any witnesses themselves. The witnesses that Trinidad's side called was a medical expert about his chronic tonsillitis and his adenoid problem and his sleep apnea. Then you also had Joe Judge, assistant coach there at the University of Mississippi. You had Trinidad's mom, and you had Trinidad. So those are the four people that was in the courtroom with Judge Whitwell, who we'll see if he'll make a decision sometime this afternoon, or we'll have to wait another day or two like we did in Tuscaloosa.
So with them not calling witnesses, and we covered how they didn't want to cross-examine his mother, they just congratulated her on raising an outstanding young man. Those two things together, do you read into that the NCAA probably feels pretty confident about their position in this case?
I think the NCAA feels like they did with the Betayaco case, in which they believe that at the end of the day that the law will win out. And they believe that they are right, hence the reason why they're not calling witnesses. They're not calling all these other people. So they believe that there is enough evidence, Landrum, in which the NCAA basically can put it in front of the judge, and the judge would hopefully make a legal call like the one in Tuscaloosa did, in which the NCAA
And the judge, with his ruling, he's going to have to write an opinion, right, on why he ruled that way?
Yes, the court will have to make a decision.
Yeah. So while it does seem like it's cut and dry, and this good old Ole Miss judge is going to rule in favor, he still has to go by the letter of the law. I think Trinidad Chambliss ultimately is playing in the SEC next season, which I don't think is ultimately a bad thing. Be interesting to see what the Ferris State head coach says, Tony Anise, and his account of the conversation with one Trinidad Chambliss. Joey Aguilar, you're up next. Maybe this thing with Trinidad, it moves to another day. Just think about the economic impact this has had in that small little town.
No doubt.
Tonelli's, another good lunch crowd tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, Coach Wimp Sanderson, plenty to talk about with Coach. Big weekend of SEC basketball and more. Thanks for joining us each and every day. God is great.